Hey, what's up guys? This is Luca Pretolesi here at Studio DMI in Las Vegas. We team up with DJ Tech Tools, and today we're gonna talk about vocal processing, specifically on a track that I mixed for Cedric Gervais. Let's take a look together. All right, let me play you really quick the actual final mix of this track, just the lead vocal part.
Mis pasos son tan solitarios como viste alguna vez.
Let's switch to the rough mix.
Atado a una espina estoy esperando por tu amor.
And that's my vocal mix.
Entre los dos el hielo y el
All right, let's take a look a little bit what I did and why. So usually my chains start with correction, and this is a totally in-the-box vocal processing for the lead vocal of this track. So let's solo. Let's see what we have totally wet with all the processing first, just the vocal.
Mis pasos son tan solitarios como viste alguna vez. Atado a una espina.
So don't get scared, intimidated by what you see here. I did it manually, but I let my vocal writer do this for me. And reason why, I want to avoid compression in the beginning if I can. I use compressor really if I really need it, or if I need for color. So this kind of helped me to push part of the vocal that is a little quieter on the mix. Starting from the beginning of the chain, after I manually write a vocal and get the right levels, I use multiband compression. I use it for a specific reason. I want to control a little bit of de-essing on the 7K. I want to make sure they have the low end part under control, same as the top part. So let's play a part with or without.
Entre los dos el hielo y el secreto crecen. Entre los dos el hielo y el secreto crecen.
You're probably going to notice there is a lot of bumping and a lot of pushing dynamically around 7K and a lot of top end that you want to control right away from the beginning. Otherwise, what's going to happen, using later on EQing or analog emulation as far as compression, you're going to push even more. So I try to control those parts. I follow up with something that I really like as far as the tone of this EQ. So the Pultec emulation from UAD, extremely good. And what I essentially do, I take a little bit of the 20 hertz, and you say how you can take a 20. 20 actually is going to affect up to 200 in a very smooth way. So it's a shelf. So it's going to kind of like take down some energy on the low end. And then I push a tiny bit of 10K because I feel the 10K, the probably 7K and up of the Pultec is very sweet. It's very good. It's very musical for vocals. So let's see with this.
Entre los dos el hielo y el secreto crecen. Entre los dos el hielo y el secreto crecen.
So once again, be able to control the 7K and give back 10K. Now we have a little space and we have a little bump, but without too much artificial and too much pumping on that frequency area. Follow up with a compressor that, in this case, the role of the Fairchild is not really to compress dynamically, but to really give color. For this reason, I make sure that I sidechain everything up to like 300-400 hertz. I don't have any pumping on that area. And I parallel whatever I do. So, and again, it's pure color in this case.
Entre los dos el hielo y el secreto crecen. Entre los dos.
So it's bringing low-level information on the vocal up, but parallel in a way that is blending with the rest. It's not gonna do an additional compression. And then another de-esser. So in this case, the final de-esser to me is to control the entire processing and just be very, very gentle. Very open, around 7K once again.
Entre los dos el hielo y el secreto crecen. Entre los dos el hielo y el secreto
working as a compressor overall. It's taking those frequency range under control. And that's about EQ and compression. Now we're going to talk about reverb and delay. My plan on this vocal was to kind of create a space, 3D effects of the vocal where we have a reverb that dynamically is moving with the vocal and a couple of delays. One pan delay and two fixed delay. One more like toe pan type of delay, one more like warm on the low end. The reverb is extremely cool. It's a technique that I use a lot when I want to have the lead vocal really in front of the mix, but still have some space and some reverb around. And what I usually do, I use a dynamic EQ post reverb with a side chain from the actual dry vocal to control the mid-range of the reverb. So essentially what I do, I send my vocal to a reverb, and then after different processing, I decide what range I want to just make quieter when the actual lead vocal is in the front, and when it stops singing, the reverb is coming back up. So check it out.
Mis pasos son tan solitarios como viste alguna
Essentially,
vez.
the 1K range is pulling down when it's singing, and it's pushing literally reverb down about 10 dB, and when it stops singing, the reverb is coming up again. But the top end and the low end remain the same. Actually, is a little bit more in the front. So you have a feeling where the lead vocal is in the center, you have reverb at the bottom, reverb on the top, and the mid-range is coming up only when it's finished singing. Vocal processing can take many, many hours. Today we literally scratch the surface with some ideas, some tricks. But for this and more, come join our community, join the Alliance. This is Luca Pretolesi, Studio DMI, Las Vegas. Ciao, ciao.